All right, good day everyone. So we will continue with the last chapter for Module 9, which is Caring for You. So it's all about self care for healthcare workers. So this time we will be talking about your health, like emotional health and physical health, and making sure that you are giving the proper self care for your own self before and after going to work, right? So, what is self care? So, when we talk about self care, that involves the physical health, making sure you are doing physically healthy, making sure you're not overworking, making sure you're having the proper diet, eating the correct food, and just to give you the energy, right? And emotional well-being, making sure that you're not burned out. You will identify that later what's burnout. And we in terms of emotional well-being to making sure that you are still happy of what you're doing in terms of work related. It's not affecting your emotions with regards to your coworkers, your clients and etc. Right? So it's very important and make sure that self-care is very significant thing that we need to always do for us as a caregivers as in the healthcare setting. It's because I know that our work is kind of like stressful, dealing with different diseases, dealing with different personalities, individuals, additionally with all the shift hours, not even fixed shifts, but like you work days, you work nights, you work on holidays, etc. So that must be very stressful, right? So it's always good that we apply self care for ourselves. So it is very important that we actually do self care because it actually prevents burnout, right? When I see burnout, that means you're forcing yourself to already just go to work because you're not happy at all. So it actually affects your work, the client, especially if you are burnout because you're not doing things correctly, you're not focused. It's because you're so tired, right? You're so tired and you don't really want to go to, or you're not really doing the right work anymore. That's why self care is very important. And when we're applying self-care to ourselves too, it actually improves your performance. You gain your focus. It's because you have rest for like an ample amount of time for you to go back to work again, right? It actually helps you maintain a good mental health when you're doing self-care because it relaxes your brain, it relaxes you from overthinking and for thinking a lot of things at work. And it actually supports quality of care because when you do self-care, when you have a good mental health, and then you will have a good performance at the workplace, and of course with good performance you're going to give a quality care for your clients, right? So that's why it's very important. What are the stressors in the healthcare? Of course, as I mentioned earlier, it's like the workload, right? We actually sometimes tend to overwork because our company is understaffed. So sometimes we do double shift or sometimes we even have part-time jobs outside before we go to our other job, right? So that is one of the main reasons why there is stress. It's the workload. Emotional demands. So it might be so emotional at workplace, like there might be some clients who are very irate, they are something like they actually not have a good behavior because due to their illness maybe or whatnot. And also additionally, if you have like a coworker that has an attitude as well, right? So that affects your emotional aspect. So it's those are one of the stressors in the workplace. The time pressure. So because let's say in a healthcare setting, like for example in a long-term care facility, you are assigned to let's say 8 clients and you need to finish that 8 clients in a span of 8 hour shift or 12-hour shift doing your things, right? Doing the job description that was assigned to you. Also, it affects your health and work. That's why when you're stressful, it's always good to have a break. Make sure you focus, take a break. If you have like breaks in between, make use of that one, right? That's very important. Excuse me. So, what are the signs of stress? If you are experiencing fatigue in the workplace or already, like you're not happy of what you're doing, that means you're already stressful, right? It's already stressful. Irritability, irritability. When you feel irritated easily in the workplace, when your coworker just asks you something and then you don't really respond well or professionally, that is a sign of stress already, right? Anxiety and of course poor concentration. You can't focus at work because you're so tired or you're too tired to do things, right? So make sure that you need to balance your time, give time for yourself. Self-care is very important, and me time is very important, and a day off is very important for you to keep going, right? For you to keep going. So when we talk about burnout, that means it's already exhaustion. There's already exhaustion in the workplace. You're totally drained and tired. You don't have the motivation anymore to work, and you don't find meaning why you are still there in the workplace. So when you have those loss of motivation, the one thing that it affects is actually your work satisfaction. You're not really convinced or you're not proud of yourself. You are already getting bad feedback. It's because it can affect your output as well, or your outcome from your work, right? So it's always good that if you feel those things, make sure you need to have a break, right? Have a break. I know sometimes we need to have double jobs, triple jobs, because everything is getting too expensive, especially in Toronto. But again, it's always good to have at least one day off, or if you have breaks in between, make use of that break to like just relax and sit before going to the next shift, right? So it's very important that you will always have a self care or a break, like whether it's a short break or a longer break, whatever, take advantage of that. So, yes, that's what I've mentioned to you. Coping strategies, taking breaks, of course, talk to others if you need someone to talk to and just vent out, just to release the pain or the emotional pain that you're experiencing. That would be healthy. Of course, you can do that to your trusted people, to your family, to your boss if you trust your boss, if it's a work related issues. Of course, relaxation technique. It's what I mentioned to you during your breaks. Just do that, do anything. Like just relax, take a deep breath, inhale, exhale, and then go back to work again, right? And also, it helps when you are organized in terms of your tasks. Make sure that you manage what is the first thing to do, what's the second thing to do. Everything should be managed in a smart way, right? And that helps actually make your work easier if you know how to organize your task. In terms of lifestyle too, it's always good that you eat healthy diet. It actually gives you a good mood as well. Same thing with exercise, proper sleep. So that's what I'm telling you guys. If you have breaks in between, or if you have longer breaks, at least don't work 24 hours. It's always good to have a break because your body needs rest, physically, mentally, emotionally. Everything needs rest, right? And make sure you are hydrated at all times. Make it a habit to have an increased fluid intake. So about the emotional well-being, so if you need to express your feelings, make sure you express it in the right person, in a professional manner. Don't just like shout in the workplace because you want to express your feelings. No. So make sure compose yourself, still do in a professional way. If you need to go to your supervisor's office and then express what you feel, then that's the best thing to do. And of course, you can always ask them, like, I need support. I'm already burning out at the workplace. It's too much workload. Then it's always good to seek support. Maybe you need counseling. Maybe your facility have that, or they will give you, a break or something. It's good. Like, that's why you need to just communicate and make sure you stay positive. I know this is the hardest part, to stay positive, especially if you feel tired already. But again, always go back to your core. Always think of like what's the reason at the first place why I decided to become a healthcare worker, right? So just stay positive and think of your main goal. It's always good to set boundaries, right? So as what I've mentioned to you, if it's always good to have a break in between. If it's Saturday or Friday is your day off, don't accept job. Use that as your day off. That's for yourself. That's for your family and for your loved ones, right? It's always good to have that break. Manage your time. It's also good that you manage your time. There are time for work because of course we need to pay the bills and we need to live, but there's also time for yourself because yourself should be treated well as well, right? And make sure you rest and do not stop yourself from enjoying what you from doing things that makes you happy. Okay, again, it's always good in a respectful way, in a respectful manner, and make sure that it will not add additional problem, right? What else? So for professional support, of course, as what I've told you, you can speak to your supervisors. If there's a workplace resources like council or anything like that, or underneath, or you need to go a certain training or seminar, then be it, right? So it's again, it's always up to you what support you needed, but do not hesitate to ask because it's always good that you communicate. Also, additional safety measures for you, for us as a healthcare worker. Every time we do our care, make sure to always do proper body mechanics because we don't want that to give additional stress of the things that we are going through. Making sure following the safety rules from your company policy and from the care plan so that to avoid your any injuries for yourself and also for your client, right? It's very important. Again, key reminders for this chapter 7 discussion. Always remember, aside from taking care of your clients and their family, take care of yourself first, right? Recognize your stress. It's good that you recognize your stress and identify them so that you will know how to cope up with them. And if it's hard for you to cope up, make sure to ask for help. To ask for help. It's very important. It's always good that you ask for help because you will never go wrong. If you need the professional help, then be it. Okay? So that's actually ends our module 9, chapter 7. So we're done with module 9. We will proceed with module 10 for module 10, and then after module 10 we have last two modules and then we're done, right? But for now, that's it with module 9. We have short essay questions here, and hopefully we will answer that one later on. Okay, see you in the next module and chapter.